Hello, I'm Jan Patience and I'm at Kelvingrove Art Gallery and Museum. This podcast series is celebrating Dippy the Dinosaur's visit to Glasgow. In this episode, I'll be discovering how on earth he got here, and I'll be finding out why Kelvingrove was chosen as the only Scottish venue on Dippy's UK tour. So, I'm standing in front of Dippy, and here with me is Lorraine Cornish, who is Natural History Museum London's Head of Conservation. Welcome to Glasgow, Lorraine.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, before we talk about how you actually transport a very large Dippy, can you just tell us a wee bit about him or her? Do we know if it's a him or a her?
We don't know actually if it's a he or a she, but everyone says him, so we don't really mind. And so Dippy is a cast of a very large sauropod dinosaur that would have lived about 152 to 154 million years ago in Wyoming in the US. And we had a cast made and was brought across to the museum in 1905. So Dippy was on display at the Natural History Museum in London from 1905 to the beginning of 2018. We took the decision to take Dippy out and put a blue whale in its place. One of the reasons was that we wanted to really transform that hall and have a lot of original specimens in, but there was a big decision to be made about Dippy because not only the general public are very fond of Dippy, but all the staff. And after a while, we decided that what would be fantastic for us would be to send Dippy out on tour.
And it's no mean feat transporting a dinosaur cast like this because, how many bones does he have and how many parts and how large is he? What can we compare Dippy to in terms of the actual size?
So if we're looking at Dippy now, he almost takes up the whole of this hall at Kelvingrove, doesn't he? I would say almost the size of two bus lengths, and maybe when visitors come they can have a look at themselves and see how big they think he is. So he has 292 bones, but he actually goes together and comes apart in 86 pieces, and it takes usually about 6 days for the team to put him together at any venue.
What sort of size of a vehicle do you have to transport him?
So Dippy actually goes into 13 crates, and then we have a few more crates which hold the base for him to go on. And it's two very large lorryfuls, essentially, of Dippy crates that go around. So all the individual pieces that are of different shapes and sizes get packed very carefully into these crates and then moved around the country. It takes quite a lot of people together to actually do this project.
What I was interested in, just looking around here, you've got the software, specialist software, and I was looking over the shoulder of someone, and it's like what bone connects to which other bone, and so that in itself is a jigsaw of some magnitude.
So we have two lots of software. One is the software which the transport company use, and so they work out the crate weights and sizes, the best loading out and loading in on those lorries for like health and safety to make sure it's optimized. Then for each of the different bones of Dippy, we have software where we look at documenting the condition. So every time we bring Dippy to a new venue, every piece of Dippy is looked at by the two conservators here, and we check on its condition, we take photographs, and we make sure that we have all of Dippy, of course, because we don't want to lose any. Everything's labelled up, and then once we've checked the condition properly, we have a set order which to actually put Dippy together in. We always start with the back left or right leg and then move forward, and today we're nearly finished but not quite, so we're actually putting some of the ribs on today. And for all of our venues so far, they've run competitions, and they've done it here in Kelvingrove for a school and a certain child to come in, and they will come in with me through the barrier where Dippy is, and they will get to place the very last toe bone. So it's a really lovely opportunity for someone, and I'm always so excited when I see that. And then Dippy is complete.
And have you ever lost a bit of Dippy? The big question. I mean, it's like we always lose a bit of the jigsaw, don't we, when we put one together?
No, we haven't lost any of Dippy. We're very careful. It's great that we have a good team here. And we all know, well, I certainly know my Dippy pieces very well now. So we make sure that we, count them out and count them in. So every piece is accounted for.
Can I ask, Lorraine, how do you pick the venues that Dippy is going to go to?
So we ran a national competition, in fact, and we invited venues all around the UK and to apply. They had to fit a number of criteria, one being that they had a big enough space indoors, that it was secure, also that they would work with other natural history societies, universities or local groups, natural history groups, to have sort of Dippy adventures and natural history experiences for the time that Dippy would be there, because we really wanted to maximise the number of people that come. We then reduced that down to 8 venues, and Kelvingrove was chosen as one of them for Scotland.
Well, I'm sure that Dippy will get a warm welcome. He'll soon be our Dippy, that's for sure. So thank you very much, Lorraine, for taking the time out, because I know you've got a busy day. And I'm going up to the balcony of Kelvingrove now to get a proper look at Dippy in all his glory. And I'm going to have a chat with Dr Neil Ballantyne, who is the manager here at Kelvingrove, about how you bring a dinosaur into a museum like this.
We're currently standing on the first floor balcony looking down into the centre hall at Kelvingrove Museum. So unusually we have a very large dinosaur down there and a team of technicians who are working hard putting it together. And in the background we've got our magnificent Kelvingrove organ.
So Neil, most people go to work and they sit behind a desk and they go to the water cooler or, make a cup of tea and then crack on with emails. This is a typical day at work for you, overseeing a large dinosaur coming into your building.
Yeah, and unfortunately I do have all those emails as well, but it just comes part and parcel of being manager of Kelvingrove. Obviously we've got a huge collection, a very varied collection here, and we do a lot of activities with the public. So yeah, it's unusual to have a dinosaur of this size and this stature coming into our building, but in many ways it's another display, which is basically what museums are all about. So I've been working in museums for over 20 years. I think this is the largest object we've ever had to deal with, but it's also one of the most enjoyable.
Why is Dippy coming to Kelvingrove in Glasgow?
Well, there are a few reasons for Dippy coming to Kelvingrove. We feel that we have, first of all, the sort of majestic surroundings that does justice to a really impressive object like Dippy. We're also aware that there's a lot of interest from local school kids in dinosaurs in general, probably the same as children all over the UK. So we've had dinosaur exhibitions here before, and they've always been really, really popular. So we were keen to bring Dippy here. And I suppose the final thing is that we already have a programme working with our partners in the RSPB looking at the natural world. And of course, one of the key messages about Dippy is that we want to inspire future generations of scientists from today's children to get involved with conservation, to get involved with becoming scientists and to become natural historians.
And how much Dippy disruption has there been to get this huge object into the building? I mean, it's massive. We're looking at him now and he's properly huge. He's in the main hall.
There's been quite a bit, it's fair to say. So first of all, we had to create a space that was big enough for the technicians from the Natural History Museum to work in. We needed a space that had the height, because obviously, as you say, it's not just long, it's also quite tall. So really the centre hall in Kelvingrove was the only place big enough. But of course that's a very busy public space. So before Dippy arrived, our technicians had to create a space, a secure space for them to work in, which is basically what's behind me now. There's a large wooden wall and taking up most of the centre hall. We also had to close one of our galleries as a decrating area. We're looking at moving the cafe that's normally here to another part of the building for the duration of Dippy's visit, because we believe that there'll be a lot of people will come and see this object, especially when we get to Easter weekend. So we need quite a bit of space, not just for Dippy, but also for the people who want to come and see Dippy.
So how long will Dippy be here, Neil?
We open to the public on the 22nd of January and we run until the 6th of May.
And are you doing any special events?
Yes, there's quite a full programme. So, for example, there are some Friday mornings where we're going to open early, specifically for people with autism who don't enjoy being in a crowded space. So it means that they can come and see Dippy at a quieter time. We are working closely with our colleagues in the RSPB. So towards the end of April, there's going to be a special bio blitz out in Kelvingrove Park, where people can come along and take part to record the level of different species in the park. And there's also quite a full programme of talks and lectures, as well as a kind of arts and crafts programme as well. So there's tons of things going on, especially at the weekends, and it's all basically publicised on our website in Glasgow Museums.
So will people have to pay to see Dippy?
No, it's completely free. And you can come along any time that the building is open. The only thing I would emphasise is we do expect to be really busy, particularly at weekends and school holidays.
How do you say Dippy? Diplodocus?
I've heard it as Diplodocus or Diplodocus. Yes. I think both are. I don't know if there's a correct term and an incorrect term, but I tend to use both. So whatever comes into your head first.
Good, right.
Maybe just stick with Dippy.
Dippy it is then, yeah.
Dippy the big dinosaur, that'll do.
Big guy.
Big D.
You can come and see Big D or Dippy the Dinosaur at Glasgow's Kelvingrove Art Gallery and Museum from Tuesday the 22nd of January until Monday the 6th of May. And you can find out all about the activities planned around Dippy's visit on the website at glasgowmuseums.com/Dippy. In the next episode, I'll be discovering how steel magnate and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie is connected to Dippy, and I'll be finding out about the dinosaurs in Kelvingrove's collection. Hope you can join me then. Thanks for listening. Bye.